Hello. In today's episode, we are talking about the danger of paying just the minimum on your credit card and how that combined with high interest rate can get you trapped in credit card land. Hello and welcome or welcome back to Sev Talks Money. If you are interested in tools and tips to build wealth, crush debt, and gain financial freedom, you are in the right place. So I want to kick this off by sharing my screen and showing the calculation of how long it will take to pay off credit card if if we're paying just a minimum on the credit card. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to go here to Chrome and share. And I hope you can see my screen. All right, so I am going to go here to the top of this spreadsheet, of this calculator, and I am going to assume that we have a credit card balance of, let's say, $5,000. And at an 18% interest rate, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to calculate. And what this is telling me is that with a credit card balance of $5,000 and at an interest rate of 18%, my minimum payment is $125. So if I choose to pay only the minimum payment on this card, it's going to take me 273 months, which is equal to nearly 23 years to pay off that debt. Let me do that again. I decide I am going to go on a fancy trip and I'm going to buy me some clothes because I deserve it, right? So I'm going to go on a fancy trip and I am going to go shopping and get me some stuff. And it's going to put $5,000 on my credit card. If my credit card is 18%, when I do the calculation, the credit card company is going to say my minimum payment for that first one, and I'm going to show you the payment schedule in a little bit. The minimum payment for the first payment is $125. It's going to take me 273 months. Again, that's close to 23 years to pay off that $5,000. And in addition to paying off the $5,000, it's going to cost me $6,923.09 in interest, which is a total of $11,923.09. So that shopping spree and that trip that I took that only cost me $5,000 is really costing me nearly $12,000 and 22 years of my life. Okay, so I'm going to show you the payment schedule. The first payment is $125. $75 of that goes to interest. Principal is $50. So at the end of your first payment, you now owe $4,950. And then you pay the next statement they send you. It's going to be a payment due of $123.75 and interest paid $74. Principal $49.50. So now your balance is $4,900.50. So let's say we decide, you know what? If you decide to do a calculator and you can go to just Google credit card calculator, and you can choose to go to Bankrate, which is well known, and do your calculation. But let's say you decide, you know what? I want to pay an extra $100. So my first payment I want to make is $225. Okay, so I want to pay monthly instead of whatever the calculated base payment is. That's going to be calculated by the system, because it's going to be this right here. The minimum payment calculated is interest plus 1% of the balance. So on that $5,000, Again, if you only pay the minimum, it will take you nearly 23 years, and you will have paid $11,923 combined. So you're going to decide, okay, I want to pay an extra amount. So I'm going to pay $225 per month, no matter how much they say to pay. I'm going to pay $225. So let's calculate and see what that does. So now you calculate, you pay an extra 100. That's $225 you're paying per month. And now it's taking you just over 2 years to pay off that debt. All because you say, I'm not going to let them calculate based on interest plus 1% balance. I am going to decide to pay a fixed amount every month, no matter what they send me. And that fixed amount is, I'm going to add 100 to the first payment, minimum payment that they asked me to pay. So that 225, when I calculate, now with a fixed payment, your payment, and I'm hoping you can see, let me make sure you can see that on the screen. Let me make sure you can see the same thing on the screen. Let me go back here. Yes. Okay, so with that fixed payment, you are paying $1,127.78 only in interest. That's what you're paying in interest. And let me show you the payment schedule. Now you have a bigger amount going to the principal, because remember before we had the smaller amount going to principal, but because you're paying an extra amount, your payment period is now cut short significantly, and you are paying most of your payment is going to principal. Okay, now of course that you deciding to pay pay more cuts the payment period, and it cuts the amount that it increases the amount you're paying to your principal. So this interest plus 1% balance, that's the typical calculation when you have a credit card. The typical calculation when you see a minimum amount on your credit card statement, that's the typical calculation, is interest plus 1% of the balance. So there are a lot of people who say, oh, I'm paying the minimum, I'm good because I'm not paying late, I'm paying the minimum. And I'm going to stop sharing this, and let's go back to the main screen. They're saying I'm paying the minimum, and I'm good because I'm paying the minimum, and I should be okay. Well, paying the minimum and you being on time with your payment is great, but you need to figure out what is really costing you, because the high interest rate combined with that long payment period is costing you too much, in my opinion. So let me check the comments and see what's going on. Before I do that, let me put my like, share, and subscribe on here. I want to invite you guys, if you're watching, and for those who are going to be watching the replay, please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And so let me go to the comments and see. Beverly, hi Beverly, thank you for joining us. Beverly's saying this is why they make the payment so low. Yes, they make the payments low, and really it's about making money, because they're in the business of making money. And they don't like me because they never get my interest, because I charge and I pay it off. So they don't like me. But yes, you're correct. They make the payment so low so they can get all of that interest. And then again, with the Card Act, the recent Card Act, well, not so recent, a few years ago, they wanted to protect consumers, so they kind of said, hey, don't give them these high interest, these high payments. So they made it so it's manageable for most people. And so people thinking, oh, it's manageable, and so I can pay, the minimum because it's manageable. Well, they don't realize that on the back end, the bank is making money off your back. So, we talk about the, on the first calculation that I showed, that I stopped sharing the screen on that, it was like 6,000 plus in interest. When the bank collects that, they're taking that 6,000 and they're loaning it to somebody else, and they're making money off of your money. So it's good to know these things so that you are savvy about paying down your credit card debt, because I believe that you can you can use your credit card in a smart way. And I'm going to talk about that. I think either tomorrow night or Wednesday night, I'm going to talk about using credit cards in a smart way so that you take advantage of what they're offering. Because again, they take advantage of people, they charge all of that interest, and then they take that interest and they make a loan to somebody else, make money off of you, and they take that money, make money off of somebody else. So why not use the bank's money to make money? You can do that. You use the bank money. So I'm going to talk about that either tomorrow again, as I said, or Wednesday. Hey Judy, thank you so much for joining. So with that said, and if I don't see let me see. Judy said, oh, definitely. I see so many divorced clients who have made a financial mess from never paying off the monthly balance. Yes. I was showing before, I was showing the calculation of how much it really costs if all you pay is the minimum. And again, so many people get excited about paying the minimum, and they don't realize that just paying the minimum, it can cost you a lifetime of credit, of interest. So that $5,000 example that I showed, the interest over, just by paying just a minimum, the interest, it takes you 22 years and 22 years and 9 months to pay off the $5,000 plus an additional nearly $7,000 in interest. So in total, you're paying nearly $12,000 just because you're paying the minimum. And it's great you're paying the minimum, but it costs you so much. Can you imagine you bought something for $5,000 and 23 years later, you're still paying that off? That just doesn't make any sense. So I want people to understand the impact of paying just the minimum. It's great to pay that up and say, I'm caught up, I'm on time, but think about the cost on the back end. All right, so I don't see any questions here. So I am going to go to our wheel and spin our wheel, and then I'll come back and see if there are any questions. So let's share the screen again, and we're going to go to the wheel of random names. So let's go here, and I am sharing, and I hope you are seeing the wheel. Scoop that up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to shuffle the wheel first, and I removed somebody's name because I removed Kathy's name because she won yesterday, and I removed somebody else's name that I could not see was subscribed to my channel, so I moved that person's name. So I shuffled, and now I'm going to spin, and let's see who wins. And tonight is going to be Sid from Miami is the winner for tonight. So I will contact you about getting the credit card, and I will remove your name, and that leaves 3 persons for tomorrow night. So thank you again, everyone. Let me stop sharing that. Thank you so much, everyone. And let me see Judy's comment here. She said, yes, like buying $200 of clothing costs a person $350 or even more. It keeps snowballing. Yes, because it's great, again, as I said, to pay just the minimum, but it doesn't really help you in the long run. And again, I want to offer, if there's anyone who is interested in having me take a look at their finances, then I want to share. You can contact me. I have the contact information in the description of the video, but I also want to share my email here, Severine@SevTalksMoney.com. You can contact me and we can set up an appointment. Well, actually, when you send me, I will send you the link for the appointment, or you can do that directly in the description of the video, and you can set up an appointment, and I will help you take a look at your numbers and help you to make sure that the credit card company is not taking advantage of you, because I want you to be able to use their money to your advantage. Okay? This is the purpose of this channel, to be able to educate you So you can use the bank's money and just like the rich people do, and do what you need to do, and not have them take advantage of you. You use them to further your business and your personal life. Okay, so let me go back to the comments one last time and see if there are any additional comments. And no additional comments. So thank you so much again for joining me on this awesome educational, what I call Fun and Finances, where I'm sharing tips on credit card usage. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about how you can use a credit card company, use them for your advantage, and come back and another person will win again. And then, of course, on Wednesday night, it's the master night. That's my birthday. And we will have the master drawing at that time. And everybody will be put back in the pool for the master drawing. So again, thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.